Hello and welcome to another edition of Thursday Thoughts with the Rector. Today is July 1st, 2021. And in the last video, we talked about how here at Christ Church we are going to be using our Book of Common Prayer more intentionally in our Sunday worship. Using the Psalms, which we have already been using, turning to the page number in the back of the prayer book for the Psalm during worship, but also turning to the prayer book for the Creed, the prayers of the people, and the Eucharistic prayer to remind us to refamiliarize ourselves with this work that is so integral to our worship and who we are as Episcopal followers of Jesus. So today I want to talk a little bit about the Psalm, in particular, the translation of the Psalms that we find in the back of the prayer book and why we have them in there to begin with. So dating back to the earliest of times, even in the times before Jesus, the Psalms, which are mostly attributed to King David in the Old Testament, the Psalms were part of worship in Jewish synagogues. They were the sometimes called the hymn book of the synagogue. So as the Christianity was growing, and particularly as the English Reformation was taking hold in the mid 1500s, we have this idea of a revival of the Psalms for everyone. And if you've ever really read through the book of Psalms, you know that they encompass so many, I mean, almost all of the human emotions. There's joy, there's despair, there's heartbreak, there's anticipation, there's curiosity and wondering and all of that. And they all look to God for our hope. Like every single one of them. Like they almost never end in despair. And they never end without acknowledging that all of our hope is in God. So I think that's an important reason that they are part of our prayer book. Now, if you've ever picked up a Bible or ever paid attention, the Psalms are like the biggest section of any Bible, right? Here's this Bible. Here's the whole Bible. If I open it up, this is the Psalms, right? This goes, I would have to do math and I can't do that. But it's over 100 and something pages in this particular Bible. And that's more pages than any other book or section of the Bible. So our translation of the Psalms is unique. What is in the back of the prayer book is a unique translation of the Psalms that you really won't find anywhere else. And why is that? Well, there was this guy, and his name was Miles Coverdale, and he worked with another guy named William Tyndale to translate the Bible into English, which in England, people were okay with. In the mainland of Europe, they were not. And so William Tyndale died for his efforts. He was burned at the stake for his efforts. But his counterpart, Miles Coverdale, lived to publish the first translation of the Bible into English in 1535. It was updated a few years later in 1539, and it's known as the Great Bible. And that is the translation of the Psalms into English that we started with in Anglicanism, leading all the way up to today. So the Psalms from that 1539 version were first put into the very first prayer book in 1549. And we have a copy in the Christ Church Library of the first and second prayer books, well, 1549 and then 1552. They were rushing to get it off the press, and then they, in 1549, and then they quickly made some updates about 3 years later. But that was the translation of the Psalms in here. And then over the course of time, the church, has worked to update the language, getting rid of out of date, obsolete words that are no longer used in the English language, right? Language evolves. And just going from the 1892 American Book of Common Prayer to the 1928 Book of Common Prayer, there were over 100 changes. And prior to the 1979 Book of Common Prayer, which is what we have in our pews here at Christ Church, there was a thorough and systematic re-examination of the Hebrew in light of modern scholarship. Because here's the thing, what Coverdale and Tyndall were doing was not translating from the original Hebrew, nor the original Greek, for that matter, when they were translating the New Testament. Let me see if I can get this right. They went from Hebrew. The translation went from Hebrew to Greek to Latin to English. So the original Hebrew got translated into Greek in what we call the Septuagint, which was the stories, the Hebrew scriptures translated to Greek when Israel was in exile, and then that is what got translated into Latin. And then the Latin got translated into English. So we're going translation to translation to translation. And so before the 1979 prayer book, there was a lot of effort done to go back to the Hebrew and make sure it all matched up, while also honoring Miles Coverdale's poetic form and the way that they are in there. So the Psalms are part of our worship. They're an important part of our worship. And we will continue to celebrate those and enjoy those. And again, if you would like a prayer book, don't have one, or need an extra, we have plenty in the library downstairs at Christ Church. You're welcome to come by and get one, or let us know you're coming and we'll pull it out and leave it at the front desk for you. The next several videos that we do over the next several weeks, we'll talk more about the prayer book and talk more about some of our favorite parts of the prayer book. Either me or Courtney or maybe some others will join us as well. So thanks for being a part of this. Thank you for all you do to make the world a better place and to help shine the light of Christ to those places that it needs to be shown. Take care. Have a great day. Have a great, safe weekend, and I look forward to seeing you soon.